right now because out of weird occurrence, I saw a picture on Instagram, like you do, and it had a post of Zack Snyder with a beard, and he says, "It's time. I guess I gotta shave this." And I got excited because you know what that means. Other than the point that he's got to shave. Available for one more day. Oh shit, man! I always miss these events. So, anyways, I saw him with the beard, and he said, "Looks like I have to shave. Time to shave this, or something like that, right?" And I was like, "What? What does that mean?" Now, in hockey, when you're in the playoffs, you don't shave your beard until your team is done, until the championship is won, whatever, until the goal is achieved, right? So that's when you shave your beard. Mm-hmm. And all Americans and Canadians know this for sure. So, now when I saw that, I got excited because when crew, directors, producers, or whatever are in post-production, traditionally, it's the same thing. You shave the beard when you're out of post-production, when it's complete. What would Zack Snyder be doing? He would be seeing to the final edits and completion of his Justice League, of course, and that's what I assumed, but I went on Vero like a good individual who's seeking knowledge and the truth. I looked on Vero and it was an old post. So I'm disappointed because I got so excited, that feeling, and I think all of you have felt this feeling before where you just see or hear a whisper. This is what I call them, whispers. These little rumors, these little sayings. And we get like that latest news of like Zack Snyder's son replied to a fan. It looked like Chris Wong, our boy Chris Wong. Totally watch him on YouTube. And he's holding it down, by the way. And it was a fan like him or someone else. Anyways, and it was some tweet. I saved on the picture. I don't even want to look at it. I'll get pissed off. But it said the son's like, "Hey, stay optimistic. Good things are happening." To me, that's a whisper. These are all whispers. Why whispers? Is it leverage? Are they trying to get... they can't say anything because of NDA? As Jason Momoa said? Or... what is it? That's why I call them whispers, because it's just like, wait, what did you say? What? Did I hear that right? Da-da-da? That's the reaction I have. So many whispers. And for me, that was a weird thing where I saw, and then I jumped for joy, and I got excited, and then reality hit. And I realized that we only have the theatrical version of the Snyder. See, I can't even call the Justice League. We have the theatrical version of the Snyder Cut, which is the Justice League. Oh my god, that's what I called it. The theatrical version of the Snyder Cut. And you know what? I'm probably right, because what is Justice League in complete form? Which is the original cut. The Zack Snyder Cut. And you know what? Since I'm going on this rant right now, and I had that moment, and I'm back to sadness, and I just gotta get this out of my chest. Nothing big happened. There's no news. Just more whispers around there, by the way. So what I'm saying, this is a oh my god release of Snyder Cut, is that for me, it's a movie so much care has been put into, and when I saw it, I had a lot to drink, by the way, so I was not in my senses. So I was just like, oh, okay, wow, what a spectacle, ooh, ah. But then I was taken back. I was like, wait, what happened? What was that? Wait, something was missing. You felt it. And there's some moments where I was like, whoa, this is awkward. Oh, that's gonna... It's because, for me, the narrative of films, superhero, documentary, live action, animation, fiction, non-fiction, based on true story, whatever it is, there's a beauty of narrative of telling the story. And you could tell watching that film that the narrative was done by a committee. Something that you feel in Suicide Squad, changes in Suicide Squad, right? And now I saw Suicide Squad, then I went back and I saw, when I went back before I wanted to see the movie Bright by David Ayer, I had a feeling everything he wanted to do Suicide Squad style, his style, is in the movie Bright, which is what we may get with the Zack Snyder film we will get it for Zack Snyder's Netflix horror film. We will get that Zack Snyder, that Zack Snyder narrative, that style, and we will feel like yes. Now this hurts me because I love Justice League, not the movie. I love Justice League, the whole entity, the animation, the canon, everything is beautiful about Justice League, and their subgroups with Young Justice, Teen Titans, Justice League Europe, Justice League Dark. I'm livid right now, so I can't really think straight. So this is pure raw podcast stuff as we look at my character who's just flexing here. So the narrative is what I love about film, and Zack Snyder has a specific narrative. It's like, well, some of you kids don't know nowadays, but cursive, everyone had their own style, their signature. It's them, you know? You could look at it like a Michelangelo work of art and a Picasso work of art. And you know there's a huge stylistic difference. Now, you get a director. Now, I'm not dissing Joss Whedon. I do have some blame for Joss Whedon, but I don't know how much he was paid. Maybe the paper was pretty, you know what I'm saying? Because they still haven't said how much this movie cost. At least not that I know of. It's probably shame, and it's probably a lie anyways. So, as a director, I feel on ethics, he should not have taken that. I would not have liked that. I had a thesis at NIFA with my boy who went in for cinematography. His thesis project, the original cut was deleted, but they had all the raw footage. I was like, dude, you got to recut it. How long will it take? He's like, oh, it's going to take like 11 hours. I'll do it with you. We got to recut it. It's such a beautiful work. He had a really beautiful vision. But it was the producer's fault. You know, we're all students, right? It's the producer's fault that deleted footage. So he was so angry, he said, all right, you have to cut it exact same way. The producer was never there for the cutting in post. So this guy puts the movie together based on notes, and it doesn't feel the same. It's a totally different movie, and the audio was off. It was awkward, and I was like, oh my gosh, that hurt. That hurt my feelings. My friend, he was disappointed, but he was so livid and angry. His reaction wasn't like, oh, I need to complete this. He just wanted to get to the next project. All right. Now, this is real life, alright? This is a cut from my life I'm sharing with you. So, that was a bad taste in our mouth, and the project just dissipated. It died. It was a beautiful idea, but I have faith, and I've seen my friend's work, you know, he's getting to a better dream, a better vision. But that, it feels like this beautiful child that didn't get to fulfill their dreams and show us what they had to say for themselves of who they are, what they believe in, their voice. We didn't get to hear that. So that sucked. So that feeling I can't have with Justice League, but it's a situation that I feel similar to, because I see that is a finished product of something that was our finished product. But those type of mistakes of a finished product belong in film school, New York Film Academy, wherever, Columbia. You know, those, you make mistakes in film school to, you know, go into the real world. But then I see a film school mistake highly funded by a prestigious Warner Brothers well-known studio that's been around since what, 1923 and 1927? I forgot. Anyways, long ass time, right? So they are I think it was 1923 now that I'm thinking about it. But anyways, they make a film school mistake, and they fund a film school like mistake, and it's in theaters worldwide, a film school level mistake. Now, the signs that point to me that Justice League is a huge film mistake is the narrative is broken. The technology to make up for it is uneven. it's advanced technology and it's pretty impressive creativity on how they put their scenes together sometimes, but the end result was not worth it. It was technologically no different from George Lucas doing a special edition version of Return of the Jedi. Yeah, maybe A New Hope could have used it, but after they made Han shoot first, oh no, Han shoot second. They had Greedo shoot first. Oh, I still can't wrap my head around that. That is painful. I have the Star Wars DVD where disc 2 has a non-anamorphic widescreen version of the original Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope. Thank God I can still put that in the DVD player, watch that scene, stop it, take it out, put in A New Hope Blu-ray, and continue the film. That is legit how I watch it. However, whenever I watch Star Wars, Han Solo always shoots first. Now, why is that important? Simple, tiny choices like that are definitive of a mood. These moments you make in film, they're teeter-tottering by each moment matters, right? Anything can make or break the film by a little hair prick, of a choice, of a thing said, a mood, da 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 da. So Han shooting second is like, what? Thank God Solo movie fixed that. So anyways, again, that's the original thing with Han Solo, right? They Greedo shot first Justice League. That is, with the reshoots with the same technology of redoing something pure by like sucking the life out of it. And okay, I'm getting a little bit too carried away here. I'm moving away from specific. So the score was in and out. We saw and heard themes from, Batman, John Williams' Superman, and it was very busy. Like if you watch any film that Hans Zimmer does, and especially with some Zack Snyder things are drawn out. They're long notes. There's a moment where it's like, ooh, or da 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 da. It's something constant, but it's committed to either a tempo, a melody, rhythm, or a tone, right? And see that in all of the films. Or it's one progressive long song. Like the Superman theme in Man of Steel, it's that da 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 da, or whatever it goes on, right? The action one, the one with the drums, right? Or it's just a song, a girl's voice going, well, I'm not gonna sing it. I'm gonna drop all you away. Thank God I have any viewers, but he has these drawn out full songs. So the issue with Justice League, all the themes musically came in and out abruptly, so short, quick, loud, and it felt like it was slapped together soundtracks from other movies put into it. So the soundtrack was horrible, and to me that's a second storyteller. That's very crucial. It's the binding of the book. It holds all the pages together. It's the smell of the paper while you're reading the book. It's the ink on the page, the smell of it. Music is such an emotional factor, and it was all over the place. So it was really hard to care for the scenes if I just closed my eyes. Now, they changed the lighting. The finale was not dark blue. The Roots things, Zack Snyder said, wasn't even in there. So there's so many things changed. And also, Steppenwolf sounded threatening in the first teaser where we heard his voice, where he's like, there are no Kryptonian, no lanterns. This world will fall just like the rest. Ooh, that gave me chills. I was like, yes, we're in for a war. Did we get a crazed warlord who is going to strike fear in the hearts? No. We got this guy rambling about his mother, which was an inanimate box that called him to a time when he didn't know. We didn't even know where he was coming from, and blah, 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 blah. But anyways, he was just talking to the box saying, "Mother, yes, I know. Yes, mother, this is for you, mother." Talking to an inanimate item, reminiscing on, like, a lost parent, like, rambling and just saying these poetic, outdated Xena warrior princess on TV dialogue that he didn't seem threatening or scary at all. He just seemed like he had Alzheimer's. That's it. And That's not that scary as a threat as someone, whatever. So that was another change. And then and here's another thing: they cut it down for time. Anything cinematically, in my book, that's cut down specifically for time is a bad move because you are cutting the heart and guts of the story out. If they left every single deleted scene, not just deleted scene, but they had extended detailed fight sequences too, where you see Flash go up a spiral, knocking a bunch of parademons off like do 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 do, and then he trips and Batman saves him, right? But instead, in the movie theatrical cut, we just get Flash going and then he trips. Like he didn't even get a chance to hit. I think he only hit like one, maybe two parademons. But in the other one, he was like, take them all out. He was in action. And also he was fighting. In the theatrical one, he barely fought. He was just for recovery and cleanup crew, pretty much. We didn't get to see Flash fight, and he does fight. Like, push some bad guys and run away. Now, if Flash would push, that would be strong enough as a punch with his whole speed force. With his speed force coming with real time, like by the time his speed caught up with real time, boom, that would hit you. So he doesn't need to be physically threatening to do damage because he speeds around. And they took all of Flash's offense off, except that one part where he gets all the bugs on him and he goes, oh, gross, in a very bad Michelangelo way. And we know who to thank for that. Which brings me to my next part, forced comedy. And that's all I'm going to say there. Forced comedy. I don't need to say any more. You feel it. You see it. Some moments are precious. Like Superman saying, yeah, I kind of like living. And then Cyborg with hope in his eyes saying, yeah, me too. That's nice. And that's some, tiny little stuff like that is something that Zack Snyder does do. He does a lot of physical... See, what Zack Snyder doesn't do is spell out everything. You see things with expression, actors, and visual narrative, which is something a lot of directors strive for. Okay? A lot of directors do strive for that. All of them do. Some miss, some hit it on dead on the nose. But I just can't stand a constant medium cowboy shot, close-up, medium stab move. It's like the same shit every time. I like seeing something new, and he does that with his narrative. And there's a lot of... it's not laugh-out-loud comedy, but he does have a lot of smiling moments that happen in his films. It's just everyone's all distracted, but whatever. But besides, a lot of the people who do enjoy his films don't care enough to voice it. Usually the negative people. And I'm sounding negative, but I'm just getting this off of my chest. So that's Justice League with the forced comedy, the cuts, and I think I said these are all things everybody knows. So why? Here's my truth. So with everything everybody knows, why would they not put out a director's cut after they have released director's cuts in the past for films that didn't even have a demand for the director's cut? And thus, when they were released, they did get praise. Something improved with the film. Oh, that made sense. This was cohesive. Oh, I love this one so much more. I didn't like the theatrical one, but after I saw this director's cut, I love it. Oh, it's longer. There's little negativity about a director's cut. There's no bad thing about a director's cut. Unless you see a director's cut of Blade Trinity. That was not good. So, that seemed like something got carried away and then they just forgot who Blade was. And they did stuff for the sake of it. So I didn't like that director's cut. Hell no. That was dumb. So anyways, I'm trying to get over something. I need to do this voiceover for this other project, which I'm not sure I'm allowed to talk about, so I won't. What I did just there is what just this Momoa did. That whisper. See, I don't know how much they could tell us. And it seems positive, and I want to be on a positive hope for this. But I've been let down before in movies. And how many times has this happened? So, by all these mistakes that we know the film has, and what we know about director's cuts that do come out, why the silence? Why can't they just... Are they waiting for hype? Are they waiting to complete it? Why can't they just give us something? Unless there's some drama behind the scenes we don't know about. Are they trying to brush this under the rug? Are they trying to spite Zack Snyder? Because it seemed like a dick thing to do with everything that went down. A family tragedy. Out of respects, can't pause production and finish it when you come back. Or not keep it the way it was. Don't do the reshoots. Because from what we know, that's the flaw of the film. People could smell it. People could feel it. People could see it. You see it, you can cringe. It hurts. It's a painful movie, man. Justice League, man. That's kidney stones. It's not Justice League. It's kidney stones. Oh, man. Now I watched the assembled cut of Justice League, and that improves all the problem. What they did, they cut out the changes, as many changes as they could, and they fixed in as many of the teaser scenes into the film where they thought they would be. And it's a weird hodgepodge movie, but it's decent. Some fan cuts are out there, and you've seen fan cuts of this stuff before, but the fan cuts prove their superiority over the theatrical cut. So here's the thing. I think they need to release the Snyder cut because they do release director's cuts, especially of Zack Snyder's work before, and they have been phenomenal, right? I didn't like Sucker Punch so much. It was alright. But when I saw the director's cut, I was like, oh, that makes sense. The dream happens here and not here. And it was a good film, and I love that movie. Before, it was just okay. It was like, that was alright. I got the concept, but director's cut was like, oh, that's really what happened. So that's cool. Now, to have such a strong narrative of a director get cut down is just... By not releasing it, I think they do more damage to Warner Brothers. Now, here's a disclaimer I want to send out to fans before I get to how bad Warner Brothers is going to look. Fans, if you tweet or social media or write to the people who work on Warner Brothers animation or DC Comics, anything that is not film, leave them alone. Don't do the whole Snyder cut to everything that's related to Warner Brothers or DC. That is not fair to them. Those are separate departments. They don't work like that. The questionable powers at B is the film department. The pictures. Okay? Leave all the other people alone. It's important to be heard loud and clear, but do not be heard loud and obnoxiously. Don't be rude. You know, that kind of stuff. And just, we must take the fight to the actual enemy. Actually, no, I erased it. They're not enemy. I don't know what they are, but they're a block. And Warner Brothers is like against themselves. We love the franchise. We love Justice League. We love the characters. We know so much about the world because we loved it too much to know everything that happened. So for Warner Brothers to leave Justice League out there and not do anything to recover from it shows that they're proud of it, or they know it's bad and they want to spite the fans or the critics. I don't know who they're trying to please, but they do more harm to their prestige by not doing anything about it. It's I'd have so much more respect for the powers that be at Warner Brothers if they release the Snyder Cut, or release a statement saying that they are going to release the Snyder Cut. That's really what I want. I want to know if they're going to release it or not. It's really a matter of that. If they don't, they're idiots. If they do, they're smart, because they can hear the audience. I really do not know what they're waiting for. It could be an insecurity thing, because if that's the movie that they shot, reshot, and put together, and they said, okay, this is good, let's send it out, they clearly have no clue about film. Or they knew exactly what they were doing, and they just wanted to shock reboot in a soft reboot, a tone. If they only cared about tone, but didn't even care if the movie was good or bad, then they accomplished their goal. Because then, if they were just trying to change the tone and soften the DCEU, if that was their goal, then they definitely soften it so much that it's unbearable. So they accomplished their goal. Unless that's so important to them, they will not release the Snyder Cut. I don't see them doing that. But if they do care about film, and they go, oh wow, well, we did make a mistake. Oh, they're fans, they want to see this. Oh, they're guaranteed to see it and buy it and da. I guess we shouldn't release it. You see, that's a conversation that doesn't make sense to me if that's the case. Or they don't want to release it because they're thinking, well, if we release it, we'll look like fools because we're admitting fault. Now, if that's true, if that's a cold, hard, deep, spiritual, honest to God truth, then they shouldn't be making films ever. They should shut down the whole studio. Because you can't make films with ego. Ambition. Focus. Now we know they're bubblegum films, junk food films, films just for action, or spoof, or comedy, or exploitation, or whatever. But true film is a story told with a clear narrative, passion, and heart. And from it sounds like all their dissection and all their changes that we know of, and I could go in detail, but this video is already long enough. All those changes were all for aesthetics, and all the parts they took out was the heart and soul that would have made a beautiful film. Good or bad? I don't know. We don't know. It's a mystery. You can't call it good or bad. I'm not saying it's the greatest movie. But what I am confident about is the filmmaking of Zack Snyder and crew. His films have a beginning, middle, and end. And they have been, whether you like them or not, that's a different debate. But they have his thumbprint. They have a connected story from beginning, middle, and end, like his way of storytelling, a complete woven circle. I didn't get a complete film with Justice League. I got a hodgepodge student film mistake from studio professionals. Not the actors, not Joss Whedon. They had a difficult task. Everyone involved with making those reshoots and making the Justice League and not the Justice League. I don't know. Hope this video helped you. This is mostly me talking. This is podcast style. So, yeah. Yeah, this is honestly a video, just for me and that narrative. So I'm going to play some video games now, start a new video, stream, whatever, or not. I just want to get it out of my chest. And should my thoughts have, I don't know if it helped, but, because I feel a little frustrated. But if you are out there listening to this and you're wondering where the Snyder Cut is, I'm going to leave you with this, is just keep listening to the whispers And remember that they are whispers. It's okay to hope. I have hope that it comes out because I believe that logically it's the smart thing to do. Artistically, it's the best thing to do. For filmmaking, it is the right thing to do. Okay? So, honestly, if they don't come out, put it out, they're idiots. It's really on them. And if you share my sentiment, then just breathe in from your nose at a good count of 3. Breathe out from your mouth with a good count of 4. Actually, don't do that. Alright, just don't count super fast. Take your time. Count at whatever pace you want. But yeah, just breathe. Have hope. Keep an eye out and keep your ears open for those whispers. Until they say something guaranteed, concrete, and stone, we can celebrate. But until then, keep positive. Don't be a bully. Blah, blah, blah. Hashtag release the Snyder Cut. Keep the voice strong and loud. Because that's the best way we can get through. If these walls are up of ignorance, the best way to get through them is crystal clear points. Not loudness scattered everywhere. Leave DC Comics, leave DC Animation alone. Focus on the area where the film needs to come from, and we need that film, non-comic book form, non-animation form, in the complete. This is the one director's cut, by the way. I thought I was going to end, but this is the one director's cut that we know has been completely shot. The Donner cut, Richard Donner cut of Superman 2, there's a lot of scenes that he did not get to film. They even had to use rehearsal footage for one scene and stock footage for other things, especially when he had to zoom around again, right? That's his vision, but it's not even a complete vision because the poor guy didn't get to finish filming what he needed to film. That's Richard Donner. Now, Zack Snyder's film is a unique gem. Oh my god, this is exactly why they should release it. It's one of the few where all the footage is shot and you can get a completely alternate different film. So if you do like the Justice League, and I'm sure in the future there's some people like, oh, it's an awesome movie. Yeah, I like this one. Then that's for you. Or you can get this completed version, which they have proven, by the way, when they show BVS on TV, it's the ultimate edition, which is the director's cut. So that's another nice glimmer of hope, but still whisper to me. So, keep hope alive and keep that Snyder Cut going. It's a smart thing to do, and it is the only movie that will have a completed, true director's cut film, which is rare. They're out there too. Oh my gosh, if you see Brotherhood of the Wolf, I recommend the director's cut of that one. It's glorious. Anyways, so yes, the director's cut exists. I believe that for sure. If you're wondering that, in technical terms, it doesn't exist because it's not out. That's why it doesn't exist, but it does exist. Jay Oliva said it, and yes, keep hope alive. If you feel this, I feel you too, and hang in there, alright? Alright, love y'all. Peace out.